gems breaking all the bars. Yo, the crowd's feeling it, energy's alive. Spotlight on the tails where the future arrives. Bass in the air, every story's a spark. Late night on bass, we're lighting the dark. Bass night stories on the stage, we vibe. Talk show magic where the chain comes alive. Tokens in the flow, let the legends provide. Late night on bass, we're taking it worldwide.
Welcome everybody to another edition of Late Night on Base. I'm your friend, your host, your confidant, Bill the Bull. We are back today, not on a live stream. No. We are at doing a podcast. I love these podcasts. It's a different vibe. It's a different setting. And today we're joined by a really amazing team and two dope team members, which are Kong and Nathan from CreatorDAO. Guys, my most important question of the day simply is, how are you two doing today?
I'm doing great, and I've never had somebody call me dope 5 times in a row, so I really
What I do. It's the first time for everything. How about you, Nathan?
Doing good. Doing better now. Yeah, stoked to be on.
Let's go. So we're going to chat about you guys, and I'm excited for this episode because not only are you guys building on base, but you guys invest in creators, and you guys know how to make things go viral. You've had experience. I know, Kong, we'll get into your background on YouTube and all that stuff. And you know what the secret sauce is supposed to be. And you guys are very impressive. You know, you're backed by A16, and you know that's not a simple feat. So I know about you guys, but for those tuning into Pods Media or Spotify or on YouTube, or now we're going to be on the Base wallet, and we'll have, you know, these streams actually on a mini app by myself in the news section. So we're going to make this discoverable. But for those that don't know what CreatorDAO is, if one of you guys don't mind, what is CreatorDAO?
Yeah, I mean, you can think of CreatorDAO as like a Shark Tank, essentially, but for creators. So instead of having, and the difference here is instead of having rich billionaires pick who they invest in, we have a treasury and then the community. So imagine, let's just say 10,000, 100,000 people picking and choosing which creators to invest in. So we're hoping that because we're utilizing the wisdom of the crowd and being able to, because we're utilizing the wisdom of the crowd, we'll be able to pick the winners better than any individual can. So, imagine like somebody who's, I don't know, making a channel about ants. I personally don't like ants. I would never invest in that channel. But if enough people are voting on this, they can say, okay, I understand ants, or maybe at least I know that there are ant channels that exist that have succeeded in the past, and this one does have potential. We're able to select that person to invest in.
Interesting. So it's basically like a Shark Tank, but without the rich billionaires. But you're investing in creators, right? Those that are trying to grow their brand. Now, let me ask you: is it like just on YouTube?
When I say creators, we're starting with YouTube creators, but eventually, we'll expand to all different platforms.
Okay, so walk us through this process. All right, so I'm a creator. Say my name is Billy Bob. I have a YouTube channel, and I like to talk about farming tools. I don't know. And I want to work with you guys. Farming tools. Hey, man, you never know. I like review the latest farming tools. I don't know, something like that, or machinery. Tell me about like how this process works. So like, do I just apply? Like, I want to learn it from like somebody who doesn't understand what's going on, but they're coming across this and they want to get exposure. Like, what's the process? Walk us through from step 1 to the end goal.
Yeah, so the first criteria is that you have to have created 2 videos per month, long form videos on YouTube per month for the last 12 months. Assuming that you did that, doesn't matter what the views are, it doesn't matter what the engagement is. Assuming that you did that, that shows us that you're consistent and that you actually are dedicated to perfecting your craft. So then you apply. Once you apply, you'll get put into a vote. And the voting mechanism will change depending on which season. But for the first season, I think what we're going to essentially do is that everybody can vote on if we want to fund this person. And I'm assuming that you're not making any money right now. Do you guys want to give this farming tools channel $12,000 we're going to take 20% of their revenue for 3 years. And hopefully we make more back than that. And, if the community votes yes, we fund you, you come into our program, and we give you help with strategy, thumbnails, titles, thinking up concepts, collaborations, all of the above, whatever you need. So the first 3 months are really hands-on. And then after that, we're hoping we can kind of set them up for success, but they'll always have access to our network and office hours with the mentors and stuff like that. So we'll do this until we reach 10 creators for the first season, or the first batch, let's call it. And then hopefully in the future seasons, we take more and more on.
Okay, so let me turn it to you, Nathan. So here's the idea. Again, if you're an aspiring creator and you have shown consistency for the last 12 months, 2 videos, you said per month or per week? Per month, right? Per month. So it's shown, but you probably aren't making money. You could apply to this cohort, and you guys will decide.
By the way, sorry to interrupt you, Bill. I just found a channel called Project Farm, and he has farm tools and reviews it, and has 3.5 million subscribers.
I told you there's an idea for everyone. I had no idea about that channel.
See, that's what I'm saying. I didn't know that.
I figured somebody was doing that because rural America needs to know what's going on. Shout out to that person with 3.5 million.
But like, that's the thing, right? It's kind of like you kind of said it as a joke, as this kind of like mundane thing, and we all laughed at it because it is funny to us, but to apparently 3.5 million people, this is like a really big niche that they really love. So that kind of just proves the point that sometimes individuals won't know what will work, but if you have a lot of people kind of chiming in, then we'll make better decisions.
Yeah, as the saying goes, there's something for everybody out on the internet. And I think YouTube is that open source that allows people to find their interest. And so what would be maybe not primarily interesting to me and you doesn't mean the rest of the world. There's other people in the world that do enjoy it. So Nathan, let me turn to you. Okay, so you have this concept. It's really good. Shark Tank for creators. Now the question then becomes, okay, why do we need a token, and what does Base have to do with all this? Because, you can do this without that whole ecosystem. So tell me, where does Base fall in line, and how do you guys foresee, you launching on Base helping your guys' overall goal?
Yeah. I think you do need a token, actually, for a project like this, because one, what is the incentive for anybody else to participate in voting, right? You can't just have people participate out of the good of their own hearts, right? There needs to be aligned incentives. And that's what Web3 excels at, right? Everybody has aligned incentives, right? You vote, the creator you vote for wins, that creator succeeds, money comes back into the treasury. Now, all of a sudden, the DAO is more powerful, has greater investment opportunity, and you, as a token holder, direct those funds, right? So it's this perfect incentive loop that you really can't create anywhere else. So I think, one, it has to be on some type of blockchain, right? Second, Base. It was an easy answer. I mean, we were thinking, all right, what would be the best place to land? I think it's just been validated over and over again that Base was the correct choice. Just seeing the Base team and Coinbase just double down on prioritizing creators before we even made this decision. It's validated that Base is a place to be, not only for an incredible creator environment, but also just for anybody who's really serious and interested in Web3. Right, for this to work, we need a DAO community and membership that is active, interested, and engaged. And I just see that time and time again on Base. And I mean, obviously, cheap fees, right? So you can scale this out to any Web2 user, and that's what we're planning to do in the future, right? Is to make this super accessible. And to do that, you need great toolkit, which Base has. You need cheap fees, fast transactions, all the basics that they have. But I think the shining star of it is truly the focus on creators.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So then let's think about this then. So typically towards the end of my show, I want to get to know, the people's why and know, a little bit of background and stuff of that nature, because it's important to talk that. I think in your guys' case, I need to talk about that first, because it's important for people to understand why you two would be qualified to run this, right? Because it seems like if a creator is coming and giving away 20% of their earnings for the next 3 years, they want to be around experts per se. So I think it's important to kind of dive into Kong and Nathan. What makes you guys so qualified to run this type of project to help creators in the spotlight? Let me start with you. With you, Nathan. Tell me about your experience in the creative world and why you feel that you are somebody that can guide others to the path of success.
Well, I know my place, and my place is not guiding creators. That is Kong. That is Kong's specialty, and that is Kong's network and friends that will be able to come on and help mentor, guide other people. My strong suit and what I'm here to do is to really oversee the Web3 side. Right, I've been in the Web3 space for, I don't know, since 2021, really on and off, and then really committed to it. Been with multiple different projects. I think I really understand the incentives. I think that's what drives Web3 and Web3 success is understanding incentives and what are people like going to do if they're trying to game it or not game it. How do you create a system that works for everybody? How do you create tokenomics that are meaningful and not just going to go to garbage in a couple of years, right? Like, how do you create value for every single like stakeholder along the process? And so that's where I come in. I'm the Web3 side, but Kong is the mastermind.
I think before I get to Kong, I think you're absolutely spot on in the sense of like, and it makes sense. Every team can't do it all. If there's not, you have to have different people on this team have different skill sets that bring value to the overall company. And if yours is specifically the Web3, that's a massive thing because the space is very, very, especially to those that only are in Web2, the space is its own breed. You have to think about what incentivizes people. How do we get people aligned? And you're right. Everything is based on incentives, especially now going forward with such a saturated market. You better bring something to the table that allows people to be like, hey, I want to fuck with you guys. So let's turn to you, Kong. Talk to us. What makes you so qualified to help guide others in the path of success?
Well, first off, I want to preface the answer with, I actually don't think most founders, operators are qualified to do any kind of startup from scratch. Like I remember going through Y Combinator in 2016 with Alex Wang, who is now a multi-billionaire. But he was, I think, 18, 19 at the time, something like that. And he was not qualified to run a billion-dollar AI company, right? But now Meta, paid him, I don't even know what it was, like $20 billion, $40 billion or something to basically acqui-hire him. So it's like the qualifications is nice, but I think what's actually the most important is the ability to learn really quickly and innovate really quickly. And that's how he and a lot of entrepreneurs are able to, move past the noise. So with that said, the qualifications that I have that are nice to have is that I have been a creator myself. I have multiple channels with over 4 million subscribers on YouTube total. I have also created courses and mentored many creators. Some of the people that have gone through my course / mentorship include the Icing Artist, who has a couple million subscribers, Airac, who has, I think, like 9 million, 10 million now. I don't keep count anymore. And Frugal Aesthetic is another one. So there's probably like 50 people that have directly gone through either my course or I have mentored personally, and they have gone to become essentially millionaires making content on YouTube. And then the third thing is that I'm still working with a lot of creators. I work very closely with Sam and Colby. They have 14 million subscribers on YouTube. They do ghost hunting content. They've been on the Joe Rogan podcast. And I work with a lot of huge creators like them. And what that allows me to do is, number one, understand what works real time. So they're always testing things, always, trying new content. And then number two, because of with these big creators, they actually get access to features on YouTube first. So right now, I already know 10 features on YouTube that will come out in the next 12 months that nobody else knows, because they beta test with the big YouTubers first. And I'm not at liberty to say it public, but if we're in a one-on-one conversation, I could potentially give you a couple of those. And so being able to have all of that knowledge, it's just not accessible to the average person. And my goal is to be able to pick and choose a few creators that we work with really closely and give them that knowledge and give them that access to kind of that information that they're not able to get.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's clear excuse me, it's clear that you have established yourselves you have established yourself as somebody people can learn from. You've lived it, you've breathed it. The proof is in the pudding. I would say, to go to your first quote, I kind of disagree in the sense. In a way, yes, you can start as an entrepreneur without any sort of knowledge and background. Of course, starting it, but like Alex is not getting $40 billion without him learning the craft, right? And same with everyone, because the way I look at it is you can start anything, of course, without any knowledge. But if you want to bring others and teach others, you have to be knowledgeable. Over time, you become an expert, such as yourself. When you first started out, you're not going to be shadowing, mentoring other people when you don't know it yourself, but you've established yourself to a point where you absolutely can. And I think that's a very hard thing to eventually get to, but you have gotten there. And so that's, to me, is a very, very bullish thing that you guys have going on, because when you look at like American Idol, when you look at The Voice, when you look at Shark Tank, all those participants, they started somewhere very small, but they've gone to the top and they continue to grow, but they've learned a lot. So that's kind of what you're doing. So I just want to throw that wrinkle in. Yeah, so I just want to throw that wrinkle in there. But that's super impressive. I think, so basically anyone coming in is learning from an expert that, can take them to the next level, which is extremely, I think a lot of people would feel very honored to be selected. Let me ask you this. Have you guys done anything like this prior to Web3? Like, have you guys done like your own Web2, cohort?
Yeah, we did. And if you go to CreatorDAO.com, you can see a few of the success stories. So a couple that come to mind: Charles Liu, Sad Alex.
By the way, CreatorDAO.com, I did try to go there. You might need to tell your tech team. It doesn't work. Just throwing it out there.
Oh my goodness.
I think they didn't pay the hosting site, GoDaddy or something. So you may want to make sure that's there. CreatorDAO.com doesn't work, but anyways.
All right, I'm yelling at someone right now.
Tell them to pay their bills. Live on air, it happens. But anyways, what were you saying though? Some of the Web2.
Oh yeah, so yeah, we have a few success stories already. Hopefully, by the time this podcast comes out, the website's back up. But yeah, we invested in about, I want to say 15 people in the cohort, and we had probably 5 successes come out of there in terms of they were able to kind of have a couple of viral hits, and then now they're essentially doing content creation full time, or very close to doing it full time.
So then let me ask you, Nathan. So Kong's obviously been in the content creation game. He knows top to bottom how YouTube works, how the algo works. He's mentored other people. Where do you come into play? Like, yes, you have the Web3 experience, but what drew you then into this project to be like, hey, listen, like, I think I can utilize my skills to help assist Kong, and I think this could be big. Why? Tell me about your thought process. Where did this come from?
Yeah, I think what initially drew me in is just seeing a project that is very real world attached, right? It integrates perfectly into a Web2 experience, right? So you take a perfect existing product, YouTube, right? People are already succeeding. They have a great platform, a great product, right? But there's tons of fantastic creators that have not been discovered, can't really break out of their little algorithm trap. And now you add on these Web3 rails that include funding, that include community, that include mentorship, courses. And all of a sudden, you're not trying to reinvent, right, YouTube. You're using YouTube, but you're now empowering these smaller creators, offering them tools that don't exist in the Web2 environment to really take them mainstream. So I saw this project as a really cool and just like something that makes sense, right, for real normal people. I think solving Web3 problems is great, but I think solving Web2 everyday everybody problems is more powerful to me. And what drew me into blockchain in the first place was just how this affects the normal person, the average user. And so seeing a DAO, which is usually a pretty complex, hard to understand, a bit niche in terms of their mission, but now seeing a DAO that is understandable to everybody and impacting regular people, anybody in the world, right? Anybody in the world can apply and benefit from CreatorDAO. I think that is something that just truly spoke to me. and something that really aligned with why I'm in this space. And so I brought in, right, not only my tech skills, right, I was a onboarding specialist at Telos, so layer 1, so I have tech skills there. I did a lot of community management with DeFi Education Fund, which is a advocacy firm for blockchain and DeFi specifically. So I did a lot there. And then coming into this, I think merging not only tech skills, community skills, but I've also started up some small companies on the side. I think just coming into a very, very small team, we all need to wear a lot of hats and be multifaceted. So I was just stoked to find something that really fits my skill set and also what I'm passionate about.
That's right on. I like that. I like that. Kong, let me ask you this. What do you think is the hardest struggle or uphill battle a new creator has, or any creator has, that hasn't made it, a success? What do you think is the biggest obstacle facing them?
To be honest with you, it's literally just themselves. I know it sounds cheesy and, but the biggest indicator of success, and Mr. Beast, the biggest creators have said this too. The biggest indicator of success is how long you have consistently been uploading videos. I always mention this, but Mr. Beast was consistently uploading videos for 6 years before he made significant money. And so that just goes to show how long you would need without any help. Hopefully we reduce that, but without any help, that you might have to be doing it for 6 years, but making pretty much $0 and still having like a job, full-time job. And so the biggest thing holding people back is like, they upload a video, they see it has only 7 views, and they're like, oh no, this is not for me. I'm discouraged, whatever. And then they just quit. So being able to be persistent and is a really, really big kind of indicator of success. And that's one of the reasons why we kind of have this cockroach as our spirit animal, let's call it. You really just have to be a cockroach and survive nuclear war. And the nuclear war is people shitting on you in the comments, your friends and family making fun of you, saying, oh, this is so cringy. You actually looking in the mirror and being like, am I really cringy? Am I a shitty content creator? And the answer is yes, you are at the beginning, but you get better as you go along. So that is the biggest, in my experience, that is the biggest kind of threat to somebody's success, is their inability to push through the hard times and be persistent.
I think that's right. Success doesn't happen overnight. You have to keep going. You have to not allow. I think that also rinses a lot of people, right? So if you don't seek success right away, those that get discouraged, they never come back. But then those that keep showing up day in and day out, all it takes is one moment and boom, you're out there. Let me ask you too, then, Kong, to follow up on that. So with your journey, I'm interested to know, at what point did you start really like going viral in that sense? How long were you committed to it? Did you get lucky right away? Was it a long drawn process? Talk to us about your journey.
Yeah, I mean, I made content. I uploaded content to YouTube for probably about a year until I got a big hit. In that year, maybe let's just call it like 15 videos or something like that. They're off the internet now, so you can never find it again. I wish I kept it on, but but yeah, after about a year, maybe like 15 months, I had a big hit on a video where we were using cheesy pickup lines to get phone numbers. I was in college at the time. And then we posted it, actually. The way that we got it to go viral, quote unquote, is we posted it on this popular forum back then called MISC, on bodybuilding forums. And so this was just like the 4chan of back in the day, before 4chan became a thing. And people just ate it up because obviously it's a bodybuilding forum. So a lot of dudes, a lot of memes, a lot of kind of like bro humor. And so that blew up on there, and we kept pushing the thread up by responding like every 5 minutes. And so that got us 100,000 views, and the rest is history.
Wow. All it takes is one, man. All it takes is one, which is why you have to be consistent. In your case, it was relatively early, after a year or 15 months, but some people might take, like Mr. Beast, 6 months or 6 years. You never know, but one day it will happen. So before I kind of wrap things up, another thing is I want to know your guys' why. That's really important. What separates my show from the others is truly to know what goes on in your mind to wake up day in and day out to realize this is what I want to do. Because authenticity matters, especially on base. If you are a founder or builder and you really don't give a fuck, like, why should anyone else care? Or if you're only doing it for money, why should anyone else care, right? So it's really important I get to why. So let me start with you, Nathan. You personally have a lot of experience with Web3, with layer one, so you understand that, but you chose, again, to do work with CreatorDAO. So what makes you so passionate to be, and you're not a creator, though, per se, like content creator. So what makes you so passionate about being like, hey, you know what? I want to align my interests, my skills with what CreatorDAO is doing. My simple question to you is why?
Yeah, I love this. I got into blockchain. I got into Web3 because I see everything trending in that direction. I've been programming like my whole life. So tech has been what I live and breathe. And I see blockchain and Web3 just having this like truly global, equitable, accessible network system, everything, right? It is the next internet. And I think that's something that I've just like, I need to be a part of that. And I need to be a part of something that makes a difference, right? There's lots of crappy companies out there in the Web3 space that pump and dump and do whatever. But I want to be part of something that is true value creation, that is, cheesy as it might sound, like actually changing people's lives. Right. I want to, in a few years, look back and people say, hey, I was able to quit my job that I hated and pursue my passions because of what CreatorDAO built. And that person probably won't be in Web3. They might not even be from anywhere I've ever been to in my entire life. Right. But someone somewhere has their life changed because of what we do. And then you continue to scale that. The treasury grows. You have 10 stories. Now you have 100 stories, 1,000 stories. Right. Who knows how, like, truly the ceiling for what CreatorDAO is building is unlimited, right? Right now, we're just investing in creators. Next, we're investing in creator brands. Next, who knows what. So I just see the potential to change people's lives and let people pursue their dreams is something that truly just gets me so pumped. And I think Web3 is really the place for that to happen. Like nowhere else can this happen on a global scale and at such an accessible scale for anybody. So that's my why. I don't want to be anywhere else. I'm obsessed with what we're building, and I'm truly so stoked for everybody to be a part of it.
I love it. Obsession is what every founder needs to have, and you have it. And that's very, very strong reason why people should pay attention. So, Kong, I have to ask you again the same question. You have succeeded being a content creator. The proof is in the pudding. Yet you're choosing again to teach others. So, my simple question to you is why?
Yeah, I'll give you two sides to it. One is the greedy side and one is the compassionate side. So the greedy side is that I have helped dozens of creators go from literally zero to essentially making millions of dollars. And I continue to do that till today. And so the greedy answer to this why is I'm thinking, what if I was able to capture some of that value? It's kind of like what they do on Shark Tank, right? Like you're helping these people grow, but you're also getting equity, you're getting distribution from that investment as well. If I did that, I would be neighbors with Alex Wang right now. I will just say that. So that's number one. That's a kind of the greedy side of it. The compassionate side is that there's just so many talented people out there that don't know how to essentially pull the right strings to get success. And there's something really fulfilling about being able to step in, just give them some advice, give them some structure to how they're thinking about things, and then seeing them grow and just, as Nathan said, like quit their jobs and make a living doing what they are really passionate in, whether it's farm tools or whether it's ants. And I find that extremely fulfilling. So even if the money, so the greedy part is nice, and I would love to make money and put that back into the treasury and kind of grow the DAO. But even if that weren't the case, and I was, let's just say, I had $50 billion, I'm the richest man in the world, I would still be helping people make content for free because it's an extremely fulfilling thing to do.
I love it, and I think I appreciate your honesty. I mean, everyone getting into everyone who's an entrepreneur building something, you have to see some sort of financial reward at the end of the day. Like anyone who's saying there's no financial reward or fails to maybe or dismisses it's naive. Obviously, there has to be, in order for founders to be incentivized to give it their all, they have to feel that it can be a very worthwhile endeavor. So I totally get that, and I also like the fact that, you found something that you're good at that potentially can make you a lot of money, but you also found fulfillment as well, which is helping the next wave of, creators following their dreams. So it's the perfect world. So guys, we're out of time. I would say, hey, we would have done more on the website and checking it out, but not my fault. We got to hopefully though, make sure it's on before the launch. Please do. But
we're making some last minute changes and something got.
No worries. Yeah. But listen, we're going to wrap it up, but I want to leave the floor to you guys. Any last words that you have for CreatorDAO?
Yeah, I mean, follow us on Twitter, join our Discord. We're going to have some really, really exciting announcements coming up. We're going to do some collaborations with some really big creators, and we're going to make it a fun time for aspiring creators and fans alike.
Get on the whitelist.
When's the first cohort going to be selected? Is it just on a rolling basis?
It'll be around August or late August / early September, but it's still TBD. I think we got to really perfect the voting mechanism before we launch it.
Interesting. Well, I'll be ready to see this in action, man, and hopefully whoever gets selected gets sent to the moon in terms of views. Kong and Nathan, thank you so much for coming on Late Night on Base.
Thanks for having us, Bill. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. So in the description of the video, guys, on YouTube, we're going to make sure to have all of CreatorDAO's information, their website, their Discord. And, of course, you'll have all my information, too. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. It's free, and it helps me produce more banging content on the regular. I'm your boy, Bill the Bull. Catch me later anytime on X or on the Base app. If you haven't been on the Base app, please do. I plan on dominating that app in the news section. Late Night on Base, coming soon. Your own mini app. Cheers, everyone.